and I'm going to make you the host.
Hi, Bill.
Hey, Steve. Let me make you a host real quick. Got you. There you go. All right, Scott, you the host.
Perfect. I appreciate that, Bill. You want me to just run away with it?
Hey, go ahead, it's your show. So,
That sounds good, man. I appreciate it. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Scott Grody. I am the RVP or wholesaler here at TransAmerica to support you all. Um, Great to be here with you. We have a lot going on at TransAmerica. We launched a new product at the end of last year. I'm super excited about. I think you guys will see that it is a home run. It's running really smoothly. The application is super quick. So I'm going to spend a decent amount of time running through that product. And then we should have some time to touch on IUL and term insurance as well. We do have a full portfolio here. And I want to make sure you guys know that you have access to all of that when you're contracted with Bill's group. I'm going to go ahead and put my contact information as well as my two internals, Chris and Jason. There's three of us here, right, to support you. It's not just me. Chris and Jason are both fantastic. They work, behind the desk in Denver, so they're sometimes a little more available than I am, as I can be traveling and doing a few of these webinars and in-person meetings. So if I'm not available, you guys try calling me. I put my contact information in the chat. If you try calling me and you can't get a hold of me, feel free to just call Chris or Jason. I trust them. They're an extension of me. They've both been with the company for over 5 years, so they really know what they're talking about. So that's in the chat there for you guys. What I'm going to do is, and we can make this interactive too. I would just want to start out by saying that, like if you guys have any questions throughout this presentation, feel free to ask, stop me, raise your hand, whatever you want to do to ask your question. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and we're going to go over the FE Express product first. Let's see. Cool. Bill, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see that screen?
yeah, I can see it.
All good? Cool. Awesome. All right. So, again, we're going to dive into the FE Express product first. This is the new final expense product that we launched at the end of last year. It's a game changer. This thing is lightning fast. You guys will see pretty quickly how powerful this is and how easy it'll be when you're in front of a client to write the application and get a quick approval. So again, this is the FE Express final expense small death benefit, immediate coverage, instant decision product. This slide here is a compliance approved presentation. I always like to say that because I did not put this together. This slide is kind of a flex, right? So you can see some big numbers on the screen. $47 billion, the bottom right corner, is what we paid out in insurance, retirement, and annuity claims in 2023 alone. $47 billion in 1 year is incredible. That is a massive, massive amount of money. We are a huge company. That's all this screen is saying. Hey, look, TransAmerica is a staple in the industry. People recognize it. We've been around for over 100 years. When you're in the final expense space, especially, there's some carriers that come and go, right? TransAmerica is not doing that. We don't play that game. So we are a pretty conservative company. When we commit to something, we intend to be there for a long time. And us going into the final expense space, re-engaging, launching a new product when other carriers are kind of pulling out of that space, I think shows that we're committed. And like I said, a big company like TransAmerica with the backing and financial backing that we have, we're here for the long haul. So, a few highlights, right? So, as I mentioned, it's a super quick and easy application. This FE Express solution product is 100% instant decision. There's no back and forth with underwriting. There's no back and forth with new business. There's no amendments. You simply do the application. You get the approval in the app before you even put in beneficiary and banking information. And then you click to sign, they click to sign, and you submit the app. It's that easy. I'll walk you guys through what that looks like. But before I do, just want to touch on a few more of these highlights, right? So we have high commission. This should be one of your guys' highest paid commission final expense products that you guys have to offer. So super competitive in that sense. Underwriting rules just got a little bit lenient, a little more lenient compared to our old final expense, if you're familiar with immediate solution. And I'll touch on what those underwriting rule improvements look like here in a minute. We added an Everest rider. Everest is a funeral planning concierge rider. There's so much more than that, right? They have so many features that they can and capabilities that they have to help the client while they're living and the beneficiary in their time of need once the client does pass away. I'll touch on that a little bit more here in a second. Convenient payment options, right? Credit card, debit card. We do Social Security billing really well. Um, I'll keep powering forward here, but I do want to just quickly say, in regards to that funeral planning writer, right? I mentioned Everest is the company name. You guys might Google them, or I'll give you guys some resources at the end of this presentation so you guys can look into them further. This funeral planning writer comes built into the product. There's no extra cost for it. Client doesn't have to opt in for anything. They simply get this final expense product and they get the added benefit of Everest with it. I mentioned that it's a funeral planning concierge rider. I know that's a lot of words and not sure exactly what that means, but basically they have an online portal. When the client gets their final expense product, they're also going to get a welcome packet from Everest. And in that packet, it'll give them instructions on how they can register and log into their Everest portal, where they can house and create a living will, trust, other financial documents can be housed in there. It gives them access to they'll actually pay out the death claim within 48 hours. So they'll advance up to $25,000 of the death claim to the beneficiary within 48 hours. They have a bat phone to our claims department. So as soon as the client passes away, the beneficiary just all they need to do is call Everest and say, "Hey, I think, my spouse or whoever passed away, I think they had Everest on this policy. Can you tell me more?" They'll dig into it and they'll actually walk that beneficiary through the claims process for them. And they'll, like I said, they have a bat phone to our claims department that they can pick up and call, get the claims packet right away and help that beneficiary out. They're available 24/7, 7 days a week. It's just an incredible added feature, like I said, at no extra cost to the client. So they just simply get this included with this small death benefit final expense policy. Cool. That's my little bit on Everest. Again, we could probably take a deeper dive and invite them to a call at a later date, but I'll keep powering forward here. So, instant decision you see at the top, right? On average, I think it's taking folks under 9 minutes. Now, I think it was originally 9 minutes and 22 seconds. I think that's actually dropped. Last I heard, it's under 9 minutes to complete the application. Really, really fast. Again, we'll touch on what that looks like here in a bit. So the product at a glance, right? So we have two risk classes you'll see on the left-hand side here. Select non-tobacco and select tobacco. There's no longer a preferred and standard risk class. It's simply select. Select is going to be comparable to like a standard risk class price-wise. So if you're comparing this product to our old final expense, it's going to be comparable to standard rates. It's actually going to be less expensive age 65 and over. So select is a risk class, either tobacco or non-tobacco. You can see the issue age is 18 to 85. Product minimum is $5,000 of coverage, and the maximum we can go up to 50,000 up to age 75. Now this is simplified issue. That's some of the highest in the industry for final expense. I don't know if there's any other carriers doing $50,000 of simplified issue final expense up to age 75. So really high face amount available there. And then age 76 to age 85, you can see we can go up to $25,000 of coverage. Now, on the right-hand side of the screen, you notice at the top it says TransAmerica Graded FE Express Solution. That is if the client, so there's two products, right? There's a day one coverage product on the left-hand side, FE Express Solution, and then there's the graded product on the right-hand side. Graded means basically if the client does not qualify health-wise for the day one coverage, maybe they have a few more serious health conditions, we don't offer them day one coverage, but rather the graded product. And with that, The way it works is if the client has the graded product and they pass away in the first 2 years, we will return premium plus 10%. So in the first 2 years, if the client has this policy, the graded policy, and they pass away, we'll return premiums plus 10%. After that 2 year period, it acts as a normal death benefit. So say the client has the graded product and 6 years down the road, they pass away. Well, in that case, we will pay out the death benefit like a normal death benefit. So as a higher risk client, you can see that the maximum face amount on that product is 25,000. It's one application though. So when you go into the app, if they don't qualify for day one coverage, it's not like you have to go reapply. It'll automatically say, hey, unfortunately, they didn't qualify for FE Express day one, but we will offer them the TransAmerica graded FE Express. Do you still want to move forward? Again, they don't have to go back and forth and reapply. Okay, we'll keep powering forward here. So again, I mentioned a few different payment options available, right? Credit card, debit card, Social Security billing, and ACH is like bank draft. Now, I do want to mention Social Security billing, Direct Express, MasterCard. These, Social Security billing and Direct Express, MasterCard are areas that we probably excel compared to some of our competitors. We do true Social Security billing, meaning when the client gets paid, we're pulling that money out within hours of it being deposited in their account. Now, why that's important is obviously because folks with fixed income, you want to make sure that this policy stays on the books, right? You want to make sure that the money's in the account when we draft. And because our system is pulling that money out within hours of it being deposited, it gives you the best opportunity to make sure that that policy stays on the books and your persistency stays high. If their Social Security billing happens to fall on a holiday and they get paid a day early or the Friday before, our system knows that and it links it up with, again, when they get paid, when they get their deposit, we're pulling that money out within a few hours. That's different than most carriers. I don't know of any other carrier actually that's doing it as we're doing it, which means for us, we're keeping that persistency high. We're helping you guys keep policies on the books. All right, we're going to dive into the underwriting now. This is something I'm pretty excited about. It's only going to get better. If you're familiar with our old final expense product, we basically, if there was two standards, we would automatically push the client to a graded offer. In this new product, if there's two standards, we're not necessarily pushing them automatically to graded anymore. If those two conditions, if those two conditions don't make each other worse, then we're going to still give the client day one coverage select. So I've got some pretty extreme examples to show you of what that means. It's not necessarily 1 + 1 = 3 anymore. It doesn't push the client automatically to graded. If there's two standards, they have to be two conditions that make each other worse. And then in that case, we'll push the client to graded. But again, I'll touch on a couple of examples here in a minute. Before I do, I want to show you guys a few areas where we excel, right? These are single conditions. Keep in mind, single conditions. Congestive heart failure, you can see, highlighted here in bold. Congestive heart failure, I think we might be the only carrier that does day one coverage for CHF. So CHF, COPD, there's 4 areas. So CHF, COPD, diabetes with complications, neuropathy, and then heart condition, heart attack, heart disease, any heart issue we're pretty competitive with. So again, these are single conditions: CHF, COPD, diabetes with complications, and then any heart issue, heart attack, heart disease, heart failure. Day one coverage select. So very aggressive with our underwriting. Now I'm going to show you guys a couple of case studies. This gentleman here, right, he's age 75. He's got COPD, diabetes with neuropathy, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, and we're giving him day one coverage select. Again, select is that risk class, right? So age 75 with all those things going on, and we're still giving him day one coverage. Now, I do want to caveat this. I want to tell you, hey, look, these things, I think This is a compliance approved presentation. I think they handpicked these items to really drive home that message that look, you can have multiple conditions as long as they're not making each other worse. We're going to give you day one coverage. This is very strategic, right? So keep in mind, we will decline folks. This is not a guaranteed issue product. We are lenient with underwriting, but we'll still decline people. Okay, so don't be surprised if you submit an app and something comes up as a decline. We have really, really good fast data. So when you're submitting this application, we're running MIB and script check and things going on behind the scenes that's collecting all this data for the client's health history. And we're using that instantly to underwrite, right? So there's some times where codes are coming up in medical reports that the client may have forgotten about, right? A diagnosis back in the day, something that happened, 5, 6, 7 years ago, and they forgot about. In that case, if you have something that comes up and you're wondering, hey, I thought this guy was healthy. I don't know why we declined him or pushed him to graded. You're always welcome to reach out to me. We can look into it. So far, I haven't had any of these overturned. There's been pretty significant things that have come up in people's medical history. So I urge you, when you're going through the application, be sure to just press them. Think of any issues they've had in the past and try to get all the information so that they're upfront. You can give them, the best underwriting possible. Okay, here's another example. Gentleman age 60, diabetes with neuropathy, lupus, and emphysema. Again, day one coverage, select. All right, we've got another one here, age 65, CHF, Parkinson's, depression, Crohn's disease. Still, day one coverage, select. Pretty incredible. I think we finally get to a graded offer here. So age 70, CHF and diabetes. We're saying these two connected, these two together, CHF and diabetes. It's not a great combination. So therefore, our offer is going to be a graded offer. It's a higher risk client. All right. And then age 80, kidney failure, CHF. Anytime you have two major, organ failures, you're going to have a decline, right? So anytime you see multiple failures, in that scenario, we're going to decline the client. So this is an example of where we would decline this client with kidney failure and congestive heart failure. Okay, I want to dive into the digital experience now. This is going to be the application process, right? So where you're going to want to go for this as an agent, right? You've got to first make sure that you're appointed with us, because with this product, it's only a digital application. We're instantly approving people. We can technically bind coverage while you're right there in the house with the client. So therefore, you have to have your appointment, your contract set up with TransAmerica before you try to sell the product. Once you're appointed with us, you would go to secure.transamerica.com, and you see this red box here, TransAmerica FE Express Solution. That's where you're going to go for this product, right? So all of our other products, this is like your home page here of your agent portal, secure.transamerica.com. All of our other products are housed, the applications rather, are housed on iPipeline. So you can see that on the upper right. We're not going to iGo for this application because it's housed on a separate platform. So TransAmerica FE Express Solutions is where we're going to go. Hit that launch button. And the next page is going to look like this. So this is the only place to quote, pre-qualify, and start a new application for the FE Express product, okay? So you can see on the top, right, new application, pre-qualify, and get a quote. In this example, in this presentation, what I'm going to do is do a pre-qualification. We're going to get a quote, and then we're going to do an application. I'll show you guys how quickly this can be done. So again, pre-qualification, pretty simple, right? You're putting in the height, weight. You're going to answer, whatever the condition is. In this case, it's kidney disorder. Answer the rest of the questions, and you're going to check eligibility at the bottom. And it's simply going to say, okay, we think we can pre-qualify this client. Now, the pre-qualification is just as good as the information you're putting into it, right? So it's not running a script check, it's not running MIBs, it's not running, Milliman and stuff in the background. It's simply, okay, what are the conditions and those things combined, if there's multiple conditions, will we give them day one coverage based off that information? So it's as good as the information you put into it. In this case, we're saying, yeah, we think we can get you approved, and we're going to continue to get a quote, right? So simple, going to put in the date of birth, gender, face amount, hit get a quote, and it's going to generate what that premium looks like. All right, it's 149.81 per month. And then we can continue on to start a new application. It's going to ask us, are we doing this application in person or is this going to be a virtual sale? It does not matter to us. You can do either or. In this scenario, I'm going to show you guys what an in-person sale looks like, and then I'm going to show you guys what a signature process looks like for a virtual sale after, so you can see the difference. But again, right now, this is a in-person sale, okay? So we say in-person, continue. I'll give you guys a quick breakdown of what it's going to look like, right? We're doing an application now in person. You're going to do personal information. You're going to answer the health and lifestyle questions. The client's going to click to sign. You're going to click to sign, and then you're going to get the approval. You're going to get the approval before you even put in banking and beneficiary information. Okay, so that's what that's going to look like. Very simple stuff, right? So personal information is first, height, weight, date of birth, social security number, address, things like that. Very standard. Okay, we're going to save the personal information at the bottom. We go right into the health and lifestyle questions. Excuse me, health information first. All right. Any of the conditions they have, obviously, just make sure you're asking your questions here. Mr. Client, Mrs. Client, any concerns that you have, any health history that comes up, make sure that you're including it here. We're going to save the health information at the bottom again, and we're going right into the lifestyle information. Again, pretty standard questions at the bottom. Again, we're going to save the lifestyle questions, and then we're going to prepare to hand off to the applicant. So again, we answered the personal information, health and lifestyle questions. You're in person, so you're going to say, okay, prepare to hand off the computer or tablet or iPhone over to the client so they can sign, hit continue. Applicant's going to review this information. Because this application is so fast, I urge you guys, pause right here. Make sure that all this information, their email address, their address is 100% accurate, okay? Yes, they do have to have an email address in order to get this policy. I know that question has come up in the past, so yes, they have to have an email address to have this policy. Make sure this is all accurate right here, and then we move forward to next. All right, so I'll zoom in on this. You can see that there's multiple PDFs. The client does not have to open these PDFs to move forward, like that has been the case in some of our past applications. On this one, they can open them if they'd like to. They don't have to. All right, they're simply going to go down here to the blue box, and they're going to hover their mouse over this blue box and just click in it, and it's going to add their signature for them. You don't have to draw anything. There's no pop-up blockers. They simply just put their mouse over this blue box, click, and then it's going to automatically put in their signature for them. And then they're going to click that blue box at the bottom to save the signature. So they're going to hand the computer back after they sign it. You're going to, as the agent, if you're doing a commission split, you would include that here. You're going to answer how long have you known the insured? Very simple. And then hit continue. Now you as the agent, same thing. You would click in the blue box to sign, and it's going to input your signature for you. And then you're going to sign, click that button at the bottom, sign and submit. And within seconds, you're going to get this notice that pops up. Congratulations, Richard is approved, right? So that's how fast it is, right? So we put in personal info, health and lifestyle questions, click to sign, boom, Richard is approved. Now you can see it says eligible for coverage up to 50,000. We quoted 25,000 at the beginning, right? So we have it quoted coverage 25,000. This step right here is where we're going to lock in coverage. So you've already been approved. Now we're going to make sure, okay, have that conversation with the client again. Do you feel comfortable with this premium? Do we want to, increase it? Do we want to lower it? Do we want it to stay where it was, where we quoted you? And you're going to lock in coverage. So in this scenario, The client says, you know what? That was super easy, and I think I want more coverage. What does $40,000 look like? So they increase in this scenario from 25,000 to $40,000 of coverage, and it gives them the premium right away. And they're going to opt in for the premium loans, and then they're going to confirm coverage at the bottom, and they've locked it in. Okay, so now we've done, again, personal information, health and lifestyle questions. We've locked in coverage, and we're going to move forward with beneficiary and banking information. So again, beneficiary information, pretty standard stuff here. We need a name and date of birth. We're going to save the beneficiary information. Actually, let me back up. Um, right now, as it stands, we do not have an option for contingency beneficiaries. We are adding it. It should be coming in the next month or two. But in case that comes up for you guys, there's not an option to add a contingency beneficiary in the application right now. Again, that's something that's going to be coming soon. When we launch this product, it's all good, but we're making some iterations and some fixes to things to improve it. That is one of the things that's coming soon. You can add multiple beneficiaries, but you cannot add a contingent beneficiary at this time. All right, we go right into the payment options. So this came up yesterday, and I didn't even think about it until I was talking with his agent. He said, "Hey, I signed up for Social Security, excuse me, I signed up for credit card billing, but the client was paying with their Direct Express MasterCard." And so it made some confusion with processing. If your client's paying with Direct Express MasterCard, make sure that you're selecting Social Security billing, not credit card billing, okay? So just to make sure it's clear, if they're using Social Security billing, Direct Express MasterCard, or any form of Social Security billing, make sure you're selecting Social Security billing. That way we're linking it up with the, how they get paid, and we're pulling the funds out appropriately. If you're doing credit card, and you choose credit card and they're actually paying with their Direct Express MasterCard, it's not going to link up as smoothly with their Social Security billing. Okay, so here's your payment options, right? You can pay immediately, you can schedule a future payment, and you're just going to select what the client wants to do. Again, pretty standard stuff here. Putting in banking info, you're going to save payment details. And then we're going to both sign. So you as the client, excuse me, you as the agent are going to sign. Same idea. You're going to hover over that blue box, click it. It's going to input your signature for you. This presentation doesn't show it, unfortunately, I don't know why, but the client would do the same thing here, right? So they're going to actually review everything one last time. If they're reviewing this stuff and anything is out of line, the draft date, the face amount, their email doesn't look right, whatever it is, make sure you pause, go back and fix it. It's much tougher to fix right now on the back end after the policy has been issued and placed in force, okay? So again, because this application is so fast and we can bind coverage immediately, make sure that you are pausing here and you're having the client look over everything, make sure their address is 100% accurate, make sure everything is accurate before you actually submit this case, okay? So again, this is just the client verifying everything looks good. And then in this scenario, they're going to sign and pay. It doesn't show their signature process here, but the next step that they would get after this one here, after they hit sign and pay, is they're going to have a box to check, which is going to input their signature just like you did a few moments ago. And then they'll get this notice, okay, the policy has been submitted. Congratulations. And then we're going to return back in this scenario, we're going to return back to your agent portal, and that policy should show up in your list of policies on this FE Express tab. So that was how fast that application is, even with going through and explaining everything. That's how quick it is, right? So it's super easy. You put in, again, personal information, answer the health and lifestyle questions. Client clicks to sign, you click to sign. You're going to lock in coverage. You're going to put in beneficiary and banking info. You're going to sign, client's going to verify everything is accurate. They're going to sign and submit, and then it goes through. Again, there's no issues with pop-up blockers. I haven't had, if you're familiar with iGo eApp, um, there are going to be some issues with the signature processes with the iGo system sometimes. This one, I haven't had a single agent come to me yet and say, "Hey, I can't get this client to figure out how to sign." That hasn't happened yet, which is awesome. It's that user friendly, it's that smooth, and I think you guys will really like that. So that was the in-person signature process. I'm going to show you guys real quickly what the virtual sales process, rather the virtual signature process looks like. Because if you're doing any virtual sales, there's an extra step right now we will be eliminating here in the next month or two, but I want to show you guys this, and I'll make sure that Bill has this so that he can send it out to you guys after the presentation. And you can refer back to this actually if you do any virtual sales. So right now, as it stands, if you do a virtual sale, and this is what the signature process will look like. You're going to either choose email signature option or text signature option. This scenario shows what a text signature option looks like. So they're going to opt in for text. Client's going to receive their text, they're going to open it, and they're simply going to click the blue link. It's going to open up this page. They're going to put in an email address, they're going to create a password, and then they're going to verify their date of birth and the last four of their social, hit continue, and then they're going to click the blue box to sign. It's going to input their signature for them, and then they're going to save signature. That's it. So that's what the virtual signature process looks like. I'll show you again, right? So what's going to happen in the future is we're going to eliminate the need, right? When they click that blue link here, we're going to eliminate this step here where they have to put in an email address and create a password. And we're going to eliminate this step here. What's going to happen is they're going to get this link. It's going to give them a 6-digit number, which they'll read back to you, and then you'll put in the application on your end. That's it. That's all they're going to have to do. Text to pin is what it's called. But for now, until we do that improvement, this is what that signature process looks like. So they have to put in an email address, create a password, put in their date of birth, and then last four of their social, hit continue. Again, click the blue box to sign, and it inputs their signature for them. So that is the virtual sale process. I'm going to share. Oh, on the screen right now, you guys should see a couple of QR codes. The FE Express toolkit is a real helpful one, I find. Um, I'm going to actually stop sharing my screen here real quick. And then let's end this slideshow. So I'm going to put in the chat um, something I find helpful. This is from the FE Express toolkit. So there's a link I just put in the chat for everybody. It's right now it's clicked on the sandbox practice. This is where you guys can go to practice the application, get familiar with it before you're in front of a client. You can go through and see the different questions. But if when you click on that link, you can actually, there's a bunch of options on the left-hand side of the screen. The FE Express Solutions application demos, there's a couple of really nice training videos there that are like 7 minutes long, an in-person and a virtual sale video. There's a link there for Everest where you can learn more about that rider that I talked about earlier that's built into this product. But there's a lot of resources from that page that link that I just put in the chat for you guys, okay? So be sure to check that out. And any questions right now I know I threw a lot at you guys, as a lot of information. Is there anything that comes to mind? Any questions on the application? Feel free to take yourselves off mute or put anything in the chat that you have. Any product questions, application questions, where to
I have
go
a
for
question.
stuff?
I have a
Yeah.
question. Good morning. This is Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
How you doing? Yeah, I heard you was saying basically you guys don't do a script check or MIB check. when you're doing the application. Is that what you were saying?
We are doing that. Yes, we are doing that in the background. Yeah, so that
Oh,
we
so it is
have
okay.
yes. Yeah, that's
All
all
right.
being done instantly. So you're not having to wait for that stuff, but yes, we are pulling that data behind the scenes to do the underwriting.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
So
So when
yeah,
the
so
approval is done, it's concrete.
it's concrete. Yes. Yeah, so where
Okay.
we saw that, congratulations, you've been approved for up to 50,000 or eligible up to 50,000.
Mhm.
That's the actual approval. That was it. There's
Got it. Got it.
there's no waiting for it. You literally put in the personal info, health and lifestyle questions, click to sign, and then we've already run all that information in the background. You don't have to wait for anything. There's no refer to underwriter. It either approves them or declines them right there.
Great. Good. Thank you.
Yeah, and then look, I'll be honest, there's pros and cons to that too, right? There's some scenarios where you might have a client who has a medication that's used that they're using for one thing, but it's used commonly for cancer or something more serious, right? In those scenarios, we've seen some declines happen, right? Okay, this is a serious medication, but they're using it for something not as concerning. Well, this underwriting is black and white, unfortunately, right? So that's you know, the beauty of it is it's so fast, you get instant decisions. But sometimes there's those scenarios where you have a client who, like I said, is taking a medication or has had something go on, where the system, the underwriting is automatically declining them. We don't have any way of arguing that, right? We don't have with this product. I'm going to an underwriter and saying, hey, but this is the reason why they're taking the medication. So for this product, it's black and white underwriting. If you do have a scenario like that that comes up, you can always pivot to our immediate solution final expense product. And in that scenario, for that product, you can actually, speak with an underwriter. You can kind of argue your case and say, hey, look, this is why they're taking the medication. Would you approve them then? And a real underwriter, live person will actually take that into consideration and in many times be able to adjust their their offer.
Hi there, this is Chantel. Can you repeat that part? Because I did have questions about that, but you went over that pretty quickly. Can you say that again? You said that if you have a client that has a medication that you're maybe questioning or something like that, or a condition that you're questioning,
Yeah. Yeah, I
it's
can
best
I
to
can touch
go
on it.
ahead
No problem.
and yeah. Can you say that again,
Yes,
please?
so for the FE Express product, the one that we just went over, right? The underwriting is black and white. There's no refer to underwriter. There's no arguing the case with underwriting to say, hey, I think this client should have been approved because the thing they got declined for, maybe they're using a medication that's used for multiple things, and we considered it for the worst case scenario. For this product, the FE Express, the approval happens in the app, and there's no changing it. It is what it is. If you have a scenario like that, but you believe that the client should be approved because the medication they're taking or the concern that we declined them for maybe isn't that serious, or they're using the medication for something else, in that case, I would recommend submitting an app for the immediate solution product because with that product, you can actually, speak with an underwriter, you can argue your case and try to get that client approved based off of, you know, the information that you have, right? If they're using that medication for one thing, but generally it's used for another thing, that's more serious, those type of situations, we might be able to get them approved with immediate solution. But for this product, FE Express, it's just black and white.
Okay, thank you for that. So, are you saying that would we apply for the immediate solution after, or do you think we
I would
should
do it after, yeah, and,
afterwards?
and a couple
Okay,
of reasons
that's
why. Yeah, I think this product is superior to the immediate solution because for
mhm.
one, it has that Everest rider built into it. I think it's a huge benefit that maybe we don't talk about enough. But you're getting the instant decision, right? The you're not wasting your time back and forth with requirements and trying to track down a new payment form or something like that. It's super easy and streamlined for you guys. The price is actually less expensive, age 65 and over, which is generally this demographic that gets the final expense policy. So there's a few reasons, but underwriting alone, the underwriting on this new product is a little bit more lenient even than the immediate solution product because we're not combining those two unrelated conditions to push somebody to graded on the new product. So underwriting is a little bit more lenient. But yeah, I would probably personally I'd lead with the FE Express product. And then if they get declined because like those one-off scenarios where like I said, they have a condition or maybe a medication that's used for multiple things and you think that, the medication that they're using, excuse me, the condition they're using it for isn't as serious as what that medication is usually used for, that scenario specifically, I would go to immediate solution after trying the FE Express.
Okay, that's good to know. So you can use it as a backup in case you have a question
Yeah.
case.
Hmm.
Okay, and then I had one more question, if that's all right. I had an app the other day, and I input the date of birth wrong. I had everything right, but just the day was wrong. So went through. This was virtual. Went through. She was like, "No, this is wrong," and I was like, "Okay, well, it says that you have to click on something to allow me to edit." She couldn't find it, and so eventually she did find it, but at that time she couldn't find it, and it was a little bit frustrating. Do you know what that looks like so I can know and be able to direct someone if that happens again?
You know what? Honestly, and this was on the new product, right?
Yeah,
No.
FX Express.
I don't know what that looks like to be candid with you, Chantel, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put in the chat for you guys this 800 number. I know we don't like the 800 numbers, but these guys are really good. So a little background on this. TransAmerica, about the same time I joined the company 8 years ago, outsourced almost all of our service departments. It was unfortunately a horrible situation for the last few years. And finally, our new CEO about a year ago said, "Hey, we're getting out of this contract. We're bringing these positions back in-house." TransAmerica has since hired 1,100 employees to bring these positions back in-house and be TransAmerica employees. The whole idea is to provide better service for you. In the chat right now, I put an 800 number. This support team is really good. They only support the FE Express product that we went over today. They don't support any other products, so they're specific to that one. If you have a scenario like you just talked about, Chantel, call these guys. I'm telling you, they will have an answer for you right away. They know that application inside and out because they're the ones that built it. So their support is just for FE Express. They specialize in everything FE Express. If you have a scenario where you need to go back and fix something, um, right now, also be upfront about this because we launched it's a new product, right? There's always like things to kind of figure out and adjust. It's kind of rigid with the situation. That's why I always urge everybody, hey, pause and make sure before you submit the app that everything's accurate because it's difficult to fix in the back end. Right now, if you submit an app with a future date, let's say you want a future date, the premium, and it goes in force March 15th. And then a week down the road, the client says, hey, you know what? Actually, let's draft it now. We can't do that. Right. The only way to do that would be to cancel that application process and do a new application, which is possible. You can do, but that's how kind of rigid the rules are and fixing things right now. Now they're making adjustments to this. They're always like trying to fix things and make it smoother for you. But for now, that's why I say like when you're going through the app, make sure it's all accurate. Now in your scenario, Chantel, I would have called these guys right away and they would have told me, hey, the button's right here. You could bring the client on the line and they'll walk you through and the client through, where to go to fix it.
Yeah, it was late. It was in the evening, and it was late. So there was no one, but I did call. So she figured
Okay.
it out. Well, she figured it out. I figured it out. I called them the next day, and they basically said just redo it. So I just
Okay.
entered out in all her information, and we just picked up where we ended off.
Okay.
For the most
Yeah,
part.
I wish we had a a smoother process for something like that. Right now, it's just it is really rigid on that type of thing.
Yeah. Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Of course. What else you guys got? Anybody else have any questions? Where to quote?
I
Um,
I have a question.
yeah,
I have a lot of clients that they're like they have to have their funeral within 3 days of the death. So how quickly does the company pay out to the beneficiary? Because they have to also, with that money has to go to the funeral home and to the cemetery. So how can you explain that process and how
absolutely.
easier
Yeah,
for
appreciate the
them?
question, Jacqueline. Yeah, so this is where I say Everest is the probably biggest benefit that I like because they will advance up to $25,000 of coverage of a death benefit upon death. And I forget. So they also don't need like, is it the full death certificate or something? They can do it with a much simpler process than TransAmerica can. So basically, what'll happen is when the client gets their policy, they're also going to get a welcome packet from Everest. In that welcome packet, there's some tear off sheets and like contact sheets that you would just hand to your beneficiaries, right? So you get this policy, you get your Everest packet, you tear off those little strips and you give them to your beneficiaries and you say, hey, if anything ever happens to me, call Everest and they'll walk you through everything. Don't even call Transamerica. Call Everest and they all they have to say, hey, my spouse passed away. I think she had this Everest, and they'll look up her name. They'll verify you as a beneficiary, and then they will contact Transamerica, get the app, get the claim packet, and then walk them through that process. Through that process, if the beneficiary wants to be advance that death claim, they can advance up to $25,000 within 48 hours. They also have access to Price Finder if you're familiar with Price Finder. So Price Finder is going to save the beneficiary a ton of money. I think on average they say, and it obviously depends wildly on where you live in the country, but I think about $6,000 on funeral planning. So they will price out all the funeral homes in the area. They'll break down all the costs of caskets and everything that you're looking for, and they can actually negotiate on the beneficiary's behalf to lower the prices. So a huge benefit and savings to the beneficiary as well in their time of need when they're grieving. Does that help a little bit, Jacqueline? Does that answer your question? I know that it's a bit of a
Uh,
rant.
Yeah, it kind of does, but I would have to see it to just make sure that, my concern is that the facilities, the funeral home and the cemetery get paid within those 3 days. And you're saying it's 48 hours for Everett to be able to pay out, or that, that's the process, and it could go out after 48 hours, or once the Everett is notified, then that's when the process begins. The paperwork is filled out, and yeah, I just need to know approximately how long that takes, because like I said, it's usually a 3 day, you know,
Yeah.
process.
Well, no, I mean, first off, nobody's paying out anything until they're notified, right?
Right.
So as soon as a carrier is notified, they can work with the beneficiary to do the claim. As soon as Everest is notified, they can work with the beneficiary to advance up to $25,000 of that death benefit
Hmm.
within 48 hours. That means within 48 hours, not after 48 hours. So it
So
can take up to 48 hours once they're notified.
that the client would be able to receive the funds to be able to pay both of those other entities that need to be paid. With
Correct.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah,
uh,
whoever's supposed
simple
to be paid,
information.
yeah,
Yeah.
whoever the payment's supposed to go to is yeah, for Everest, they'll advance up to $25,000 within 48 hours to whoever that is supposed to be paid out to.
And
Okay.
and I want to say this too, Ms. Jackie. I just text you over a video. We did a whole
Okay.
1 hour from Everest explaining the from A to Z on a funeral planning, and there's videos on it. You can show clients. So
Okay.
we have an account rep over there too that you could talk to as well. You can I have our phone number. You can call her. But
Okay.
yes, it's set up. As soon as they get that email, they can the beneficiary can log into their account, do their will, living will, power of attorney, set up their funeral plan, and it's a certain 1-800 number. So if the insurer were to pass away, they call Everest and they start the funeral planning process, the claims process to get that money wired over to that funeral home right away. As soon as they notify of the time of death or pick up their body, they'll pay it for that death certificate up to 25,000. But you could talk to the Michaela, and she will explain it over to you and
Okay.
more that, and you can watch that video too because she's breaking all that down.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
And,
because
and
we
they're
handle
they're also
a lot of. Go ahead. Sorry.
available 24/7. I mean, like there's, experiences of, somebody passes away late at night and, they're grieving, they're not sleeping. It's on their mind, right? They call into Everest at 3 a.m. Somebody's picking up the phone. If a funeral planning director is picking up the phone on their end within a couple of rings and helping them in that process at 3 a.m. So I'm telling you, it's like if you want to get paid quick, Everest will do it. They'll do it faster than an insurance company can pay.
Great. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And you could call the trans broker support line too. FE Express. Scott put that inside the chat. So feel free to call them too. They're very knowledgeable. I call them all the time for stuff. And
Okay.
they're very knowledgeable because we're sitting here writing applications today and we call them to go over different scenarios. They're very helpful.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Bill.
Daquan, I just put that in the chat for you.
Hey, Scott, this is Joe again.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah. The max face amount is 50 grand.
Correct.
Got it. And what's the age range?
Up to age 75 for 50,000.
Okay, 0 to 85 or
Sorry, 18 to 75,
18 to
18 to
75. Gotcha.
75, up to 50,000. And then age 76 to 85, the max face amount is 25,000.
Got you. Thanks.
Yep. And there's been a couple agents that have reached out. Hey, what if somebody has immediate solution right now? Can they still get this product? Yes, they can. They run completely separate of each other. So somebody can max out 50,000 with this product and 50,000 with immediate solution. That's okay.
And
There's
and
a
I want
few things
go ahead.
underwriting wise that we're going to enhance soon. Right now, we're pretty strict on cancer. Cancer is one thing. Dementia, and then so dementia is always a decline for us right now. The other one is hospitalization. So 2 or more days in a hospital. Excuse me, more than 2 days in a hospital, and will decline you for any reason, right? We're going to be changing these rules, it sounds like, in the next week, where we're going to enhance those. So I don't have specifics, but it sounds like we're going to get more lenient around dementia, more lenient around hospitalization. And I don't know the other areas, but there's a few more and some mechanisms behind the scenes with Milliman and how we use Milliman, where we expect our approvals to increase by about 12%. So that's good news. Yeah.
What and what about like sickle cell or something like that? Because it's kind of been like I don't know, people are living with it. I mean, and it's always a decline, except with another carrier. Hopefully, they have that as a something
I
that.
don't know about that one, but Bill, I'll keep that in mind because I'll write that down actually because I have had a few people ask about that too, and I haven't heard yet if that's going to be improved or not.
Okay.
But
But dementia and
they're
all
supposed
that
to
is
let me know the details, right? They're supposed to tell me, hey, this is like this is exactly what we're changing, and once I get that, I'm going to share it with you guys so that we can
course.
all,
Oh,
uh,
we gotta do
yeah,
another Zoom off of that.
be aware of it. Yeah, for sure,
That's going to be
for sure.
amazing because it opens up the doors if they would tier it, a couple years. If they,
Hmm.
I don't know how they're going to do it or if they're graded, but we just need an opening because people look for it and
Yeah.
it's a straight decline. It can't get no coverage.
So the dementia piece, heard that it's going to be if they were diagnosed in the last 2 years. This is what I don't understand. If they're diagnosed in the last 2 years, then we would approve them. After 2 years, we would not. Now that doesn't make sense to me for dementia, but that's word on the street right now. Again, it's not official. Once I know exactly what the details are, I'll let you know, Bill.
Wow, you guys are really improving
We're
these
asking
plans.
for it, man.
Yeah, it's really needed because people are really sleeping on TransAmerica because other people are pushing other stuff, and everyone on here has high contracts. They're over 100%, and we're writing stuff, guys, and it takes 10 minutes. I mean, literally, your laptop or your iPad or tablet, you can pre-qualify someone or run them. Checking their MIB is not like a hit on their credit report. If they get denied, they get denied, but I still run it. I ran a client. She got denied because she had COPD and she was smoking, but she had cirrhosis of the liver. She had a couple other issues too. She could have got first day, but she was smoking. So and I knew it was going to catch it on the MIB, and it did. But so what? She got another plan. She got a GI with someone else, but I ran. It only took 10 minutes. The client was
Yep.
happy. Now the another client I did, she paid an annual premium. I did this maybe like a week or two ago, and she had all types of health issues. I think she was 71. She got approved. I turned it around, $170 a month. She paid 1,700. No, she paid 1,700 for the year.
Nice.
So she paid the ant because it made sense. She got first day. Kids loved
Yeah.
it. Um, and guys, I mean, the commissions are awesome. The renewals are awesome. You have high IUL contract levels. We have a lot of training. We have leads, guys. Scott knows about that. We have a whole university system for leads, for final expense leads that you guys can write. It's easy to write online. TransAmerica, the app for FE Express. Um, it's a win-win. They're in California, they're in Pennsylvania, they're pretty much all the states, with this product. So you can write it anywhere, and you have a will, live, and will and power of attorney, and no one else has that type of product. And it just came out in September, so it's not like you're going to bump into anyone that has it. So the value proposition is: are you positioned well in it? Are you in it? Making sure you're paid directly by trans. There's no contracts, that I'm LOA and you guys or anything like that because you want to stay away from them. So you guys can get paid direct by the carrier. You guys are having the training and the lead support along with Scott and his team, that you guys they can do one-on-one trainings with you, train on IUL, do some illustrations for you guys, swag bag, stuff like that. Scott sends me shirts, hats, things like that, do table events for TransAmerica, and it makes sense. And we did an event at a church, and they loved all the TransAmerica swag and everything. And we got about 30 something leads out there, but people were concerned about a will, live, and will, power of attorney and funeral planning behind it. The power of the Everest is so powerful that, guys, if you go to Divine Insurance Group, the YouTube page, you'll see all these videos from Everest, everything that they do. It's a great complimentary service, that a great add-on. It's the best tool I've ever seen added to a final expense product. And you guys can bundle this with Medicare. So if I do a Medicare app, I'm going to look and see what other life insurance they have, quote them, see if they qualify, and then I can come back and write them, or I can leave out after I get the Medicare app and say, hey, this can start next month. I still have their information. They accept credit, debit cards, guys. So if they have these little, cards, you get paid as earn on that. That's great. Or you can set it up with Social Security, set their checking accounts up with Social Security. We've been doing that, and it's been working, guys. And they get an email, so they can go. The client will get an email, the insured, and they can log in and do their Everest, or you can help them do their Everest. Like I did, I helped that client out. I logged in. Her daughter got the email. We did it at the get. We did their last will and testament, their living will, and we did their power of attorney. Me and the daughter did it. Guess what me and the daughter right now doing? The daughter's IUL. I can't make this up. All because I helped the mom out.
Yep.
Do an ad. She paid the annual premium. Now I'm helping the daughter out with an IUL. The daughter's a police officer. So did it make sense? And guess what? We picked the funeral home. I did the Everest app. I picked the funeral home. She wants a traditional funeral. She wants this. Put it all in there. Put it in the will too. Now she has peace of mind.
Nobody else is doing that.
No one else is doing that. That's why this product is the best product out here. But people are conditioned. They be like, well, I just want to stick to where I'm at. I'm like, but you're not giving them the best product. And Scott, if they're over the age of 62, you guys are very competitive price wise, and you're taking all these health conditions, but you're extremely competitive over 62, and I see it. And quote too. So guys, if you're doing it younger, you'll see little gaps and stuff. But remember, but if it's over 62, there's so many sweet spots, guys, you wouldn't believe it for all the health conditions that we take.
Yep. Looks like Maribel has a hand up. You have a question, Maribel?
Yeah, my question was on a comment that you made about hospitalization. If they have 2 or more, is that in the 10-year span, or even if COVID, how does that take place?
In the last year, just in the last year. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, 12 months, 12-month period.
And with the COVID situation, people are still asking questions. Nothing?
Doesn't matter.
Does that apply?
It doesn't matter to us. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Saw CJ out there.
Hi, Scott. It's Althea.
Oh, hey, Althea.
I'm all gymmed up, so you don't want to see me sweat.
Glad you're getting it. Hi, CJ.
CJ must be driving, or she
Hello
can't.
to everybody.
Hello.
Everyone.
Hey, everyone. How is everyone? Hey, Bill. Hey, Scott.
Good. Good to see you.
Always good to see you, Scott.
Yeah. No questions today?
No, well, when's our next live event?
Nice.
Now you coming to Baltimore? I want you to come to Baltimore.
Let's do it. Yeah. Let's pick a date.
All right. Just let me know when so I can find a location.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a location in Baltimore we can do. We can meet up. Me and Scott to talk whenever he's, free. But yeah, let's target Baltimore. We have some agents out there that want to do some things, and they want you back in the DMV. I mean, they want you everywhere, Scott. We still got to do Atlanta. They've been asking for that. When we going down to Atlanta? So now it's starting to grow. People are asking. People are coming on board left and right. Federal employees are getting their life insurance license, so that's great. And they're picking that, some side hustles that they're doing a buyout. Yep. This is one of the best things that they can do as far as a federal employee goes is the IUL. And I know Jason did a video for us. So guys, if you go to my YouTube page, you'll see Jason do a whole thing for the IUL the FFIUL too. And it also can include a long-term care rider. And I'm dealing right now with one of the agents who just joined, a big firm just joined, and he has connections with the school board here in Philadelphia. And one thing that they were looking for was long-term care and retirement planning. We'll combine them. There you go.
That's awesome.
So, guys, they have everything, guys. Also, we do have worksite with TransAmerica, guys. So if you guys know any employees, employers, we just added that to, the table too with TransAmerica. Contracts are very high, so many different levels. Been working with Brian now. And it's been working out, hand in hand. So that's been very good too. So they do have worksite, guys. Like the other competitors out there, like Aflac and things, but they have it. Their prices are extremely good. The commissions are very high, by the way. You're a broker, and Brian's been doing this for 30 plus years, so he knows his stuff. So guys, worksite, we have that too with TransAmerica as well. You're not captive. You're a broker, paid direct. Is another contract I can send over to you guys, but we have that too. And they're all over the country. And you can go to transamerica.com and go to employee, and you can see all their work site. But we have it.
And if you didn't make that meeting, that was a phenomenal meeting.
That's right. You were there. So you
That was a
right.
phenomenal meeting. For anyone who didn't catch that meeting, it was definitely one that I would say you want to be a part of if that's what you do. Because they beat every commission level that we heard out so far. Just saying.
That's awesome.
Yep. Well, I mean, look, I appreciate it. Think we're top of the hour. Scott, really appreciate going over this today with us and bringing in some new news too on some of these conditions. Man, that's I'm excited over that. I can't
Oh
wait
man, me
to
too.
see that announcement. You got to let me know right away.
Yeah, me too. No, trust me. Yeah, as soon as I know the details and it goes live, I'm gonna be shouting it from the rooftop because I think we are already competitive underwriting wise. We're pretty aggressive, and to become that much more aggressive in certain areas, I think is going to be huge. So, yeah, as soon as I got the details, I'll definitely spread the word and make sure you guys are well aware.
Scott,
Awesome.
I have one question.
Yeah.
I had an individual, I had tried to place him on a whole life, but he didn't, his BMI was over the top. Could I convert him over, or are we able to, like, if someone is denied on the whole life, move them into a final expense, or do we have to do a new application?
Oh, yeah, it's got to be a new application, but because they were declined with the traditional whole life, doesn't mean they can't get final expense or vice versa. So you can certainly go and apply for the FE Express or even immediate solution. And as long as they fit that everything goes through the Express or um,
I'm
then
sorry, something
they can
happened
get
to my
approved.
audio and I couldn't hear you. If you can hear me, I'm not sure.
Oh, I can hear you now, Althea. Yeah, did you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Yes.
Okay. Do you want me to go over that
Yeah,
again or
can we?
you?
I have to do a new application. I think I heard you say a bit.
Yeah, sorry. Do a new application for the FE Express. Yeah, as long
Mhm.
as they fit within the guidelines for height and weight for the FE Express, then you should be fine.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Althea, and thank you, Scott. I know it's past our time. I will send this out to you guys right away. So this is awesome. So I really appreciate you guys. And Scott, look forward to doing a couple more tours with you coming up. And guys, I'll get that information out to you too for the improvements and the updates. If you need contracts, it will be in the email that I'm going to send out if you're not contract. It looks like most people on here are with us. But if you're not, please reach out to me. I'll put my email on here. Okay, so you can reach out to Bill Feggins Academy at Gmail. So I know it's coming from this website. So Bill Feggins Academy at gmail.com. So check me out. And I just want to thank everybody. We will get this out to you guys right away, this recording. So I think Scott, we lost Scott. So thanks so much, guys. And we'll have this meeting again with some updates. And please check out the Vaughn Insurance Group on YouTube so you can watch about the IULs and we get you guys set up. All right. Thanks so much, guys.
Awesome.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Bill.
Scott.
Great day.
Have a
Great
good one.
day.
Yeah.
Bye.